Hi everyone.
How's it going?
Welcome to episode number 16 of Web Analytics TV. We've got a special guest today, one of the quiet heroes of Google Analytics, who is always behind the scenes playing his magic. Meet Shadnik Nandi, the god of all things Google Analytics backend.
Very kind.
I think his title doesn't do justice to the stuff that Shadnik does. So we're very happy to have him here today, and he's going to help us answer some questions. So with that, Nick, the first question goes to you.
Okay.
From Pankaj in Hyderabad, India. And it says, hi Avinash and Nick. It says big fan. That's nice.
That's great.
My question
we all love our
is,
fans.
there are 30 plus search engines from which Google Analytics identifies referrals as organic. I need to add some local search engines to the list. Is it possible? If yes, how can it be done?
Yeah,
Easy.
it's an easy question. So in the tracking, we have a method called add organic, and you can specify new search engines. So just use that, and you can add as many search engines that you want, and then we'll start tracking them all as organic. So it's pretty easy, and we'll add a link to the documentation to make it even easier for you.
Love links.
Great. Next question for you, Avinash. This is from Sergey in Russia. How will the quality of data received how will the quality of data about the emergence of two popular browser options to block tracking? So I guess let me paraphrase what he's saying is that the browsers recently added more do not track features.
Yes.
How does that affect your tracking in Google Analytics?
Yeah, so there are also already, as you know, plugins available for Google Analytics if you, as a consumer, do not want any website that you visit to track you, any Google Analytics websites, and that's a plugin officially available through Google if you just do a quick Google search.
It's something that we built for our users.
Exactly.
Privacy, yeah.
So privacy is a very important consideration for people who surf the internet, and there will be an ever-evolving set of options available for users to control their privacy, as well as for companies that use analytics tools to control their privacy. And so with that in mind, I think that you will see an ever-evolving set of options available, and these will be availed of by people who are concerned about their privacy, and they will not be tracked in web analytics tools. Overall, this is a great evolution for people who use the internet and gives increased confidence to people who surf the internet that their data is being used as they would like to. I believe that it is too early to say what the impact will be, but what is paramount here is not the impact on the data, more in ensuring that there is user choice when user choice is required. So hopefully that helps you, Sergey.
Great answer. So now a question for Shadnik here.
Yeah.
So this question is from Alan in Vancouver, Canada. I track a large website with about 5 million page views per month. When I try to run reports covering several months, G appears to sample my data and under-report visits and page views to pages deep in the site. Is there anything I can do about this?
Hi Alan. The short answer would be we try to maintain a balance between speed and accuracy. We do try to return results fast to you so you can do more analysis. As a result of that, we have to cap the maximum number of sessions we can read. So right now the cap is at 500,000. So if you have more than 500,000 sessions for the date range you've chosen, we will sample you. We do use fairly sophisticated sampling, so you should still be seeing good results. But the easiest thing to do would be shrink your date range so you don't have more than 500,000 visits. I do want to mention we continuously work on improving this threshold of 500,000. So with time, you'll see things improving automatically as we raise this number. So, but for now, if you don't want sampling, you should shrink your date range.
Great. Exactly,
and even beyond 500,000, when you think about the kind of analysis that you're doing, it is less tactical and more strategic, because if you're analyzing 2 million sessions, you're not looking for the one person or one page view. That's not the kind of analysis. You're doing very strategic big picture analysis, and in that case, using sampling to ensure the data is very good is probably going to give you high quality results in terms of the decisions that you'll make on the data. So
I did want to mention one thing which a lot of people get confused about. Only when you segment and a few other places do you actually get sampled.
Good question.
So it's not like for any report, if you have more than 500,000 visits, you get sampled. For the majority of reports, you don't get sampled, and when you do get sampled, there is a note on the report which tells you that this is a sample report. So
if I just go into my standard report and I have 10 million sessions this month, there's no sampling. I'm looking at the precise data.
Accurate answer.
Good. I think it's a very important nuance. Here's another one, Shadnik, that you can jump in on. It says, hi, Nick and Avinash. How can I measure visitors that visited at least one page for more than 30 seconds? With engagement goals, I can only measure the time or clicks on the whole click stream. I think he means visit. I don't know if they read or jumped from page to page. Thank you. And this is from Mario in Hamburg, Germany. It's a good question. I mean, confusing, but a good one.
Great question. The only way to do it right now would be to essentially trigger an event from the client side. So basically keep track of how long the person has been on the page, and in 30 seconds, trigger an event, give the event a suggestive name, which says like been on page for 30 seconds. The nice thing then is you can then segment it by page and see on which pages people have spent at least 30 seconds using this event.
I love event tracking. So Nick, let's add a
We'll
question.
put a link to how you can use event tracking. Great. So next question for you, Avinash. This is from YC in Israel, and this is a great question. Is passing a random visitor ID into a custom variable, scope 1, a violation of GA's terms of service?
Another thing I love custom variables. I mean, it's fabulous. So YC, if you use a completely anonymous, for example, a 64-bit hex key and pass that as a custom variable for each visitor to your site, that is okay, as long as that hex key can't be hacked or mapped directly back to any PII information. Because what you cannot track with Google Analytics is any personally identifiable information, name, email address, and all those other things. But just to be extra cautious, please work with a lawyer of your own choosing to ensure that you're following the TOS. And also, second, very, very important consideration, ensure that you're following all the laws within your country, because data tracking laws vary by country. So ensure that you're in compliance with the laws of your country, as well as the technical the TOS from Google. But passing an anonymous hex key for unique visitors should be fine.
Okay, great. Next question for you, Avinash, from Mike from London. How's it going, Mike? Hi guys, I'm just starting to advertise using Google Places paid ads. I was wondering if there is a way of tracking their performance separately from when they appear on regular search pages using GA, as the ones I have good quality scores.
Yeah, so the good question, Mike. And in Places, I'm supremely excited by mobile and everything that's happening in mobile, and it is a next astonishing frontier. At the moment, when you use your Google Places paid ads, your option is to just manually tag them with UTM parameters to ensure that within Google Analytics they'll get separated into the campaign reports, and you'll be able to analyze those either in the standard reports or by using advanced segmentation. Over time, as there is more capacity and sophistication that happens within the Places product, you'll see an evolving set of options, just like there are in AdWords with auto-tagging. But for now, use manual campaign tracking, and that is a great way to track those campaigns and ensure that your ROI is there for Google Places, which, let me just say, is there.
Great.
Here's a good one for you, Nick, from Shailendra in Hyderabad as well.
He's a big fan.
I know, we've got repeated questions. I'm using jQuery to implement outgoing links, mail to links, and find file download links. How can Google Analytics track these events using jQuery?
That's great. So jQuery is a JavaScript framework. They actually support plugins, and I've actually seen a lot of jQuery plugins that automatically track outbound links and mail to. So you might want to take a look at their plugins. We'll send a link on kind of some of the integrations people have done there. From a conceptual standpoint, typically you can use jQuery to annotate all the different links on your page and to add the tracking code there. Or you can use some of their event listeners to track any click that happened on the page and then check to see if that click was something that you want to track or not. So there's a couple conceptual approaches, and we'll link to some of the actual implementations that can make it easy for you to use them.
Fabulous. So we've got a question for Shagnik here. And the question is there any way to filter or create a segment to see your traffic for a day of the week? I don't hate Mondays. Well, I think we do.
I kind of hate Mondays.
But I would like to see how they differ from our weekend visits. And this one's from James G. in London. Shagnik, help the poor man out.
So right now there is no easy way of doing that. but we hear you, and very soon there will be. We will expose this information. First via the API, and then hopefully via the front end too. So we hear you, and you'll be pleasantly surprised soon.
This is a good thing about having the our lead backend person here with us, so
we can get the feature request happen right here. Yeah.
So very shortly, James, you should be able to see something.
Fantastic. Yeah. So a question for you, Avinash, from Tom. When will you offer a pure web version of GA that works for people on iPads, iPhones, GNU Linux systems, and other systems that don't support Flash?
Yes, so Flash is delightful. I say that with some irony here. It's a great feature request, but meantime, it is important to understand that we've got lots of third-party providers that have created visually sexy and beautiful applications that actually work on all of these platforms that you've suggested, and they are listed in our Google Analytics app gallery, and you can get to it by going to bit.ly/GAAPPS, GA apps, one word, and click on the left nav in the mobile section, and you'll see that there already are some really amazing existing applications that you should be able to use immediately on an iPad, an iPhone, or an Android system. So
yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
So they're available today.
And we've got a question for you, Nick, from Cape Town, all the way from South Africa, from Lloyd. And Lloyd asks, there is a site with email sign-up block. The front-end code is resident on the same domain, but when the user registers, a pop-up to a third party on another URL processes the sign-up. Is it possible to track this as a goal? What's the best solution?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, so you would actually have to have control over third-party pop-up, and what you would have to use is cross-domain tracking. So that way, when somebody comes to your domain, you use cross-domain to send the data to the third party, and then track the actual final event as a goal. If you don't have access to it, the best you can do is track the outbound going link. You know, you would need to have access to that final third party, you know, to be able to track it.
Right.
So it's some things to work with that provider and see if you can get the tracking code on there.
So if the pop-up comes up, the pop-up I'm assuming is controlled by Lloyd.
Sure.
So at least he can track that the pop-up came up.
That it came up.
And then he wants to track the submit button, essentially.
In the code, right. In the pop-up. And then for that, he would need to work with the third-party people to do that.
Right.
In some cases, some of the pop-ups will actually allow you to redirect back to the main site.
Oh.
For example, PayPal has something similar to that. And you know, you might work with them that if they redirect you to some page, you can track that page as kind of the event page.
I see.
But again, you'd have to work with the provider.
Yeah, no, this is an increasingly common situation as unified login mechanisms like Connect and others come into play. Yeah, it's a good one. Another one for you, Nick, from Juan in Buenos Aires in Argentina. Hey, ninjas.
Ninja chop.
I know. Quick question. Why is the unique visitor metric not available through the API? I'm using excellent analytics, and I assume one of the applications for GA.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, good. And I love unique visitor metrics. Shagnik and I, huge fans of unique visitor metric.
Love it.
Huge, big fans. But I can't get that from the API. Unique visitor has lots of compatibility issues. Thanks. Come on, help the man out.
Yeah, well, we released it last Monday.
Yay!
So it's available. So we heard you, and we released it that fast.
And you can slice and dice almost anything with this metric now, so have fun.
Exactly, and not just in the API, which I think is fabulous that we have it. I think we released it from the time that Juan posted the question. I think it went out within days. That was fantastic response.
Yeah.
But also, I want to point out for all the other people on the video who are not using the API, we've got the unique visitor metric in custom reporting. Mm-hmm. And one of the cool things that Shagnik has done is empowered you and I to go in and literally apply unique visitors to any report, which is astonishing. And here's a simple example of what you cannot do with many other web analytics tools, including the paid ones. What I want is, I want to know for a particular page how many times it has been viewed, essentially page views, but then I want to know right on that same report how many unique visitors have seen that page. And this is something you can't actually do with many paid tools either, but you just go to custom report, drag page, drag these two metrics, page views and unique visitors, and boom, there you have it. So please explore the use of unique visitor in the custom reports as well, because there isn't, I can't think of a dimension where we're not applying it. I'm sure there are some, but it's astonishing how well that has been built into Google Analytics. So definitely try it in custom reporting, of course, as well as in the API.
Yeah, as well. Great. So a question for you, Avinash, from Thomas in Poland. Hi, Avinash and Nick. Regards from Poland. How's it going in Poland? How can I track e-commerce transaction with one tracker on separate profiles for separate domains correctly? Simple Simply putting tracking code gives me some e-commerce information in every profile.
So it's a good question, Thomas. And typical, Thomas, I apologize, Thomas. And typically for these kinds of complicated requirements, there are a lot of things in the play. And so we typically recommend that you work with one of our GACs. Is that the name now?
No, they're called
GACP.
Certified Partners.
There you go. And we do have many in Europe. And you can find a list at bit.ly/GAAC, so GAC. So just go to that place and we've got all the partners listed. Work with one of them. Implementing this kind of sophisticated tracking is something that is difficult to do and yet entirely possible with Google Analytics. And the fastest way for you to do it is to actually work with a partner rather than trying to figure it out over a long period of time because it is a bit complicated, regardless of the web analytics tool that you end up using.
Great. So here's another question for you, Avinash, from Ram in New Delhi. Dear Avinash, I just wanted to know whether I can track the name and email ID of our customers who share their details through a lead page through Google Analytics.
No, you cannot. There's no if and buts and doubts. No personally identifiable information can be collected using Google Analytics. Please do not. You will be in violation of the Google TOS. So no PII. No. Sorry.
No.
I know. It's a very important question.
Okay.
And here's our last question. And it is, congratulations on the show. Pedro from Rio says, can I use _Trackpageview instead of _trackEvent to track links to external sites because I'm using it and it is working in some way? It's definitely working.
It's definitely working.
I know for a fact, yeah. It's counting, but it also shows time on page, is that correct, etc. So this is a good one. I can answer using an example from my blog where I use this methodology. So here's a good example. I'm also the co-founder of MarketMotive. And on the right-hand side of my blog, there is a link to MarketMotive, the startup. And what I do is when you click on that link to go to MarketMotive, I'm firing off an event. The fact that you did that outbound click, because I like tracking that using event tracking. But because at the moment, events can't be tracked as goals, that's a current issue that will go away hopefully soon. I also fire off essentially a fake page view using the track page view event. And what I do is I use that as a goal. Now what I do is I have structured it such that these outbound fake page views are in a separate directory. It's actually /goals/. And so it's a separate directory. And when I do analysis, I have the capability of easily throwing those fake page views off. Now, I have so much traffic that those fake page views are essentially a very, very small number. So go to my site and do more conversions. So it becomes a problem. It's not a problem. But I can easily filter them out, but they're there mostly for events. If you're seeing time for those fake page views, it shouldn't be. I mean, it should be very, very minor numbers.
The only way that would happen is if someone does that and comes back to the site within 30 minutes. So
wonderful.
It all looks like one long session, and it's only in these rare cases when you see time.
Exactly, because it is a page view. So you come to my blog, and immediately you click on the MarketMotive link, and this is the first minute of your browsing, and you go to MarketMotive, maybe you read the summary, and you come back after 5 minutes. Now for that fake page view, essentially, there were 2 hits. The first one on minute 1, the second one on minute 5, and so it would say that there were 4 minutes spent on that page, right. But it really isn't. It's this interaction that has just happened. So thank you, Shagnik. It's a very, very, very great point. We should have him back.
We should, yeah, exactly.
Okay. So with that, we've got some feature requests. I want to thank a bunch of people for doing some really great feature requests. Paul from Krakow in Poland has a really great feature request about more custom variables, also at different levels. Love it, want it. Shagnik.
Hear it.
Martin from Sydney would like more slots for segments because he's reached beyond 100. You're a ninja, Martin, go. So we've noted that. We've got a feature request from John in British Columbia, and he wants different dashboards sent out to different constituents. So good one, John. Very, very good request. Another one from Reshma in Mumbai, who would like more integration between DoubleClick ad serving and Google Analytics. my wish list for a very long time.
It has been, yeah.
Get on it, Nick. And that's it. So those were our feature requests that we had. So thank you very much for adding features. Shagnik is here in the show, so he's got a list of those.
I hear you. I'll take all this feedback back to the table.
Exactly. So these will be expedited.
So the one thing we need to continue to do is our ninja of the episode.
There you go.
So we can continue our chopping.
Okay. So in Shagnik's honor, because Shagnik answered the question here. How about Alan from Vancouver?
I was
Canada?
thinking the same thing. I think he would.
This is
great
why we
question.
do the TV show.
Yeah, it was mental. Yeah.
So Alan had the question around sampling in page views. So Alan, we're going to send you a signed copy of Web Analytics 2.0. Find my email address. It's not very hard to find. And please email me your mailing address, and we'll make sure we send the book off to you, as you are our ninja of the episode. So follow the link that you see on the top right of this video, top left of the video, and submit your questions for next week, or rate the questions that you want to answer, you want us to answer the most, and we'll do that. And if you submit a question, you might win a copy of Web Analytics 2.0 personalized with your name. So go do it.
Yep.
I want to thank Shagnik for being in our
Thank
episode.
you for having me.
One of our quiet heroes behind the scene, and our quiet, not so quiet hero behind in front of the screen. Nick as well. So until the next episode, happy analysis.
Have fun.